I'm on my way up. Nobody's gonna hold me down, cause I'm on my way up. I'm gonna get the crown.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Zack Axe, and welcome back to another video. Now, this video is literally recorded like a little bit after the Who is Zack Axe video. I was lying in bed. I was gonna go to sleep. Sorry, my hair is really a mess. I should have checked it before I started the video. But I was laying in bed, and I was kind of trying to go to sleep. I was kind of like, I'm not tired, but I kind of am. So like, I'm trying to go to sleep, so at least get some sleep tonight. And then an hour passed, and me just sitting there watching videos. I started watching the Who is Zack Axe video. I was just like, I'm gonna record a video right quick. So I decided just to start off with like an easier video, not one that I have to like think, you know, use my thing inside my head. So I decided I'm just gonna show you guys my CDs. I have 36 CDs in all. And I figured I'd just show you guys every CD I have. So let's just go ahead and start. I'm gonna show you guys the ones that just have one CD of the person or soundtracks. So first up we have this is the, so you guys can see my reflection. Spider-Man Far From Home, I can't think of what it is. This is a really good album. It does not cuss, but it is a very good album. It has just like a lot of really good songs, you know, like Hide and Elevate, Home, Hide. Did I say Hide already? I think I just Hide. But that is a really good album. I'd recommend to pick it up if you haven't, if you don't ever heard anything. Next up we have, oh yeah, Death Certificate, I think it was called, by Ice Cube. This is my only Ice Cube CD, and I got this because it had it had No Vaseline on it. It was really, when I first saw it, I was like, No Vaseline, that's like my song. And Alive on Arrival and Death, A Bird in the Hand. I used to love all those songs. So I picked up this CD. It was like 17 bucks at the time. I think it was, I don't remember, but I did get it. Usually I get these when they're on sale or I get them online. I'll just be honest, I don't always look for CDs. Next up, some of these are kind of dirty. Next up we have Dr. Dre 2001, or the Chronic 2. I don't know which one. I think it was called 2001 and the Chronic 2 at different places. But this is a really good album, obviously. My favorite Dr. Dre album. It had so many good songs on it. I want to get the new one. I can't remember what the new one's called. That came out in like 2015. It's called like Medicine Man or something. Is it Medicine Man? Medicine Man, I thought that was the one that the song that Eminem's on. But I do have the Chronic. I do not know where the Chronic is, weirdly enough. I've looked everywhere. Okay, let's stick with the old school. We got Jay-Z. I got Unplugged by Jay-Z. I listen to Jay-Z every now and then. He's not one of my favorites, but if I'm being honest, this was a part of a deal. It was like a buy one, get one for $1 deal. So picked up that because I was like, I want to get the Jay-Z album. Next up, we got one of my favorite old school rappers. We got LL Cool J. Is this the Greatest Hits album? This is GOAT. Oh yeah, this is GOAT. So that's what I thought of Greatest Hits. But this is a lot of really good songs on it. Homicide's worth looking at. This has a Forget About It on, doesn't it? Forget About It. Yeah, Forget About It. Yeah, it's a really good album. It's worth getting if you haven't, of course. Sticking with the old school. This is actually, oddly enough, my only Tupac album. And it is his, what is it? It's called Thug. It's the best of Tupac. And it's a little tore up, which I'm mad about. But I was supposed to get, I had All Eyes on Me. But it's a weird story, but we put it in the cart to buy for my Christmas one time, and then it disappeared. I don't know if they took it out or if I, like, you know, just didn't get scanned or whatever, but I didn't get that album, and I haven't been able to find it since. And it was like 14 bucks at Target. Next up, we got my only Biggie album. See, there's a lot of older rappers that I really want to get more albums of, but I don't, like, you know, haven't found. But I got the Greatest Hits of Biggie. Of course, you gotta get the Greatest Hits of Biggie. You got the bass. I got little cracks in the back. Yeah, CDs are really hard to keep up, but there's some really good songs. Of course, Juicy, Big Papa, Hypnotized, 3 of Biggie's best songs ever. Notorious Thugs with Bone Thugs and Harmony. That is a really good song. Notorious Big, of course. Unbelievable. I Want That Old Thing Back. 10 Crack Commandments. This has, of course, his greatest of all time songs. It didn't have Mo Money Mo Problems on it, which I thought was a big problem because Mo Money Mo Problems is probably my favorite Biggie song, and it wasn't on there. So I was like, okay then. I do want to get Life After Death though. I want to get that album. Next up, we got T.I. This is the No Mercy album. Yeah, I still got the little thing on the back. I didn't want to take those off, but when I got this album, I only heard about 3 T.I. songs, and that was That's All She Wrote with Eminem, Castle Walls with, is it Christina Aguilera that's in that one? And Whatever You Like, which isn't on this album. So I picked up this album, and then it has like Poppin' Bottles with Drake's a really good song, and it has like That's All She Wrote, like I said, that was on here, so it's Castle Walls. No Mercy was a good song. There was a lot of just good songs in here. Amazing with Pharrell was amazing. Yeah, I said it. Okay, next up, we have my only Big Sean album. It is I Decided. This was one of the first albums I actually got when I started collecting albums because I wanted, Big Sean's always one of my favorite rappers. I was gonna get the Hall of Fame CD, but I just didn't grab it when I could have had the opportunity, and I haven't picked up Dark Sky Paradise or Almost Famous. But I am a big Sean fan. If you ever heard Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, you probably heard my whole scheme dedicated to Big Sean. I don't know if you guys heard that. If you haven't, go check it out. I talked about how I Decided and, you know, Finally Famous. Just some good songs. Next up, we got, I believe this is the first B.O.B. album. Maybe it was second. But it's The Adventures of Bobby Ray, right? Yep. And this is, of course, used. I buy a lot of albums used, but there's the back. And B.O.B. is another one that I bought, not have previously heard a lot of his songs. But I've heard Nothing on You, of course, with Bruno Mars, and I heard Airplanes with Eminem, the remix. I got this album, and there was a lot of really good songs, like Past My Shades with Lupe Fiasco. The original Airplanes is, of course, still a really good song. I Got the Magic in Me, which, you know, I think it's a remake, but I don't know, it might be B.O.B., I don't know. Next up, we have 3 more one-timers. Next up, we got A$AP Rocky. This is this Live Long A$AP? Yep, Live Long A$AP. A$AP Rocky is another one that I wanted to get. Was A$AP Forever. I wanted to get that one. But this is another one that I hit up when I had only heard a couple songs, and I bought the album anyway. The only song I really actually heard when I bought this was Fucking Problems. I'm not supposed to say that word. I was going to try not to say that, but I said it already. I'm not going to cut it out. Maybe I will. I don't know. And One Train. But I ended up listening to the whole song. The whole album. Every time I buy an album, I just sit down and listen to the album. I put it in my CD player. Next up, we got Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. This is a different cover than the original. I think the original had like a van on it. But yeah, I don't know if it's a deluxe edition or what, but it says Bitch Don't Come My Vibe remix. I'm not sure if that's on all of them, but Kendrick is one of my favorite artists. And I do want to get more of his albums. I want to get To Pimp a Butterfly. I really want to get that one. And I wanted to get, I can't remember what the other one's called, bro. Are you kidding me? It's damn, yeah, I don't know why I couldn't remember that. And then our last one, another one that I want to get a couple more of, and that is I said LL Cool J. The J messed me up, sorry, J. Cole. I know who J. Cole, don't act like I don't know who they are. This is Sideline Story, right? Yep, Sideline Story. This one, I think, is this his first album? I think it was his first album. Another one that I want to get a couple more. I was going to get 2014 Forest Hill Drive one time, but like I said, I just didn't pick it up. And looking back on it, I really wish I did pick those albums up just because, you know, they'd be cool to add to the collection. Now we're going to the artists that I have multiple of, which admittedly I only have 3 artists that I have multiple of because Dr. Dre would count if I could find the freaking Chronic. But we'll go up to, we have 50 Cent. We have Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent's first studio album. This is an amazing album. One of the best albums of all time. It holds up perfectly. I would love to rank my top 10 albums of all time. And I'll tell you right now, if I do, this will be in the top 10. This is just such a good album. Every single song holds its weight. And just, if you've never heard 50 Cent, this is the first album. Just pick up this album. Listen to 21 Questions. Listen to Pimp. Listen to Many Men. That is my favorite song. Listen to my favorite song by 50 Cent. Listen In the Club, of course. I think everyone's heard that. Don't Push Me. Of course, Patiently Waiting. I can't think of what the Eminem song was called, but Patiently Waiting. It's such a good album. And then I also have The Massacre, which I actually got this one first. And this one, a lot of people don't really like. And I think it's okay. I like this one. I got it for Gatman and Robin. Really, I'm completely honest. I love that song. And then a lot of other songs on here, like I'm Supposed to Die Tonight, and a lot of other ones are really good on here. Okay, next up we have the next person that I have multiple of. We have 4 albums from this guy. Actually, I have every single album that this man has ever released. Actually, the next 2 guys, I've had every album that they've ever released. And it's NF, my man. Let's go in order, of course. We have Mansion, his first album, 2015, I think. This is actually the last album I picked up. Well, actually, the last album I picked up was The Search. But this is the last album I picked up before The Search. Like when he just had 3 albums released, I bought this hoodie and this at the same time. And I was like, dang, this works. And going back on this song, this album isn't as good as I remember it being when I first listened to it. But it's still a good song to go back, or good album to go back and listen to. Therapy Session, which I believe is probably, I don't know, he has a lot of good albums. This is his second studio album. How Could You Live was, of course, Hit Everybody. Real was my first favorite, it was like my favorite NF song for a while. Lost in the Moment's a really good song, Got You in My Mind. Therapy Session, there's just so many good songs on that album. NF always releases good songs. There's not one really NF song that I hear and I turn off. All NF songs I like. Next up, of course, we got Perception. I like Perception. CDTV said he didn't like Perception, which I think it's just the type of music he likes. I think it's a good album. Every single song on here I will listen to. It is a good album. It is an amazing album. Sorry, I'm trying to get my crap in here. And then finally, the last one, The Search. This I actually had to search for. And I actually ended up buying it off of somebody that ordered it and bought it. And then we met them in a parking lot of a Speedway and paid $10 for it, which was perfect. So I completed my NF album collection, and we have every single NF album. On top of every single NF album, we have, was this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It was 17 Eminem albums. Eminem's my favorite rapper, and I have every single Eminem album besides, I don't have Infinite, and I don't have some of the D12 albums. That's all I don't have. But let's just go in order. We got the Slim Shady Lp, of course, his first album besides Infinite, if you want to count Infinite. This is his first album. We'll put that up there. And then one of the best albums of all time. Like I said, if I do the top 10, this will probably be on there, but I don't know. We have the Marshmallows Lp, the 20th anniversary of this LP. This is such a good album. Yeah, it's just such a good album. I can't even talk. Next up, we have, I think this, I don't know, it's so hard to tell you guys which is my favorite Eminem album, but this is definitely on there, the Eminem Show. This 2002. These are actually in order of when they came out, so that, like, I have them in order, so hopefully I don't mess up the order, voice crack. But yeah, the Eminem Show is a very, very good album. Next up, we have the 8 Mile soundtrack. So I do have 3 soundtracks. We have the 8 Mile soundtrack. I keep this in the Eminem stack just because, you know, it's Eminem. It's the 8 Mile soundtrack. This has really good songs. This actually continued the beef between Nas and Jay-Z because they both had songs on here, which made them both mad. If you guys didn't know that, fun fact that you guys know now. Next up, we got D12 World. I did buy this used. It says on the back right here. Yeah, I don't feel like taking those off. I don't want to ruin anything. This one is a really good D12 album. I want to get, what's the one I'm missing? I don't know. I'll remember after the video goes off. Encore, which people say is his worst album. It's definitely not, so fight me. Because it definitely has a lot of really good, like, qualities. Like, it has Never Enough is a really good song. Puke is Mosh is but then you got songs like Mockingbird and I'm losing my train of thought. They're making me sound like I don't like this, but yeah, he has like Toy Soldiers there. That's the other one, but that's definitely not his worst album because his worst album is coming up soon. Here is the first album I ever owned, first CD I ever owned, and that is Curtain Call by Eminem. I took this everywhere, and that's why it is so beat up. Like I can't even open it, or everything will fall out. I took this everywhere. Every time I went up to Dayton to see my homie, I'd bring this and we'd listen to it, and I listened to that every day. Next up, we got The Re-Up, which I don't know if this is an Eminem technically album, but you know, Eminem produced it. This is a really good album, has a lot of really good songs. I'd check this out. I'm trying to keep the video a little bit shorter, so I'm trying to hurry up and get through all these albums. I'm trying to spread them out on the couch, but I didn't realize how far they actually take up. Next up, we got Eminem's, in my opinion, worst album, Relapse. Now I have the deluxe edition, or the Relapse and Refill edition. So he does have Forever on here and Hell Breaks Loose, which are 2 really good songs. Everything else on there I didn't care for. But this says Crack a Bottle was always good, and Beautiful was a really good song. Besides that, 3 AM was always good. Everything else on here, Old Time Sake was okay. Everything else on here was always kind of iffy to listen to, if you know what I mean. If you've heard it, you've heard it. I do like it because it sounded different than everything else that everyone was putting out at the time. but I also don't like it just because, you know, it's, you know, iffy. But, you know, I still like it. Which actually, Revival is what people say is worse, but Revival is good, so shut up. Next up, we have Recovery. Of course, I switched the, I do have that cover, I just switched it. This is definitely one of his best albums. You have to like a certain kind of rap to like this one, apparently, because I've seen a lot of people like, oh, Recovery sucks, just because they don't like that kind of rap. Next up, we got the Bad Meets Evil CD. I'm really waiting for a second version of this. Every single song on this hits perfect. Royce da 5'9" is another of my favorite rappers. I didn't say him earlier, but he definitely is. There's just a couple that aren't really worth going back to. Like, I'm On Everything wasn't that good, and Loud Noises just gets annoying after a bit. But everything else on the album is solid. Next up, we got another collab album. We got Shady Xv. This one has everybody that was signed by Shady Records at the time. I believe that's what it was. Yep. So yeah, and it has a lot of really good songs on it by a bunch of different people. So it's definitely worth going back and listening to if you've never heard it. Okay, it's not gonna sit there. Next up, we got the Marshmallows Lp 2. And this one it didn't live up to the LP in my opinion, but it is still a really decent album. The only thing that really makes me mad is that he has a song with Kendrick Lamar on here and it did not go hard. I hate that. I wish it would have gone hard and I would have been so happy, but I understand why they did it. Next up, we have Southpaw Soundtrack. This is my other soundtrack. This one is used also, as you'll see on the back, but it doesn't matter. This one has a lot of good songs on it. This one has this is James Horner actually passed away while they were filming this. And he has 2 songs on here. Eminem produced the album, I believe. I don't know, it's still a really good album. Next up, we have Revival, which I lost the cover to. But this album I thought was not that bad. Everyone was hating on it too soon. There's a lot of bad songs on it, I'll admit it. But it did have a lot of redeeming qualities that people were not looking at when they were judging this album after it came out. Sorry, I'm going to scoot over a bit. Next up, we have the surprise drop, Kamikaze. Definitely, like I said, one of my favorite Eminem albums. It definitely will go on that list, maybe on the top 10 list. It definitely has to go somewhere, though. It is such a good album. There are some low parts of it, but it is a really good album besides some of the low parts. And then finally, we got Eminem's most recent album, Music to Be Murdered By. This is a really, really good album. Probably, once again, maybe in my top 10. It has a lot of songs that you're able to go back to. This is hard as hell to find because I did not get it anywhere near me. I had to go all the way up to 3 cities over and find this at a Target. That's where I finally found it. But yeah, I have all my CDs spread out here. I'm going to unplug my mic so the audio might get really bad here. Sorry if it did. But see, look, there is all the CDs spread out. I don't know if I got them all showing you guys, but I can't see the camera. So let's plug the mic back in. Hopefully the audio sounds better now, and hopefully I didn't mess up the audio at all. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy, then please leave a like. Tell me what your favorite album is. Tell me how many albums you have. Tell me if you have any CDs. Just tell me anything you want in the comments, and I will appreciate that. And I will leave you guys a heart if you do. Link to all my music is in the description. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. I don't know what that wink was. I don't know if I'm going to keep that there or not. Probably not. I don't know. We'll see.
We dealing with all of the flops, so chase your dreams, even if it ends in a drought. Being stationary never helped nobody out.